en pite.
Hello everybody, welcome back, and another day going down now. What's happening, man? Every time I look at the phone, it's down and once again. So, I mean, we're broken down below that little piece of support, which I suppose, was never really tested as a support before. We were hoping for the best, and we got not the best. We didn't get the best. So we're going to continue to go down until proven otherwise. Trying to spot the bottom on something like this is going to be pretty difficult. We've said for a while now, for ages in fact, since the sell that we put in around here, that the bears are going to have control over the higher term time frames, provided we're below the centre of the 20 weekly, which is all the way up here. So the bears have been in control since we broke down from it and that retest. So bears have got control over pretty much all time frames, in fact. So bears are in control. So with that sort of knowledge, we cast our mind back to when we were saying, I suppose we reference it every other video at least, we need the clarification from the Fed. Just give us the bloody clarification, alright man? We need to know what it is you're going to do so we can base our entire life around it. Otherwise we're just going to just meander like this. I mean, from what I understand, there is some American holiday at the moment, so traditional markets, American ones that would be, are on standby for tomorrow's opening. And with the way that sort of, I suppose, crypto is going, which you could argue, as it's all tied in, doesn't bode well for the way that markets will open for traditional markets either. So it does look like they're going to open the tomorrow morning with a bit of a downwards pressure and cascading red candles. This is your Nasdaq. Obviously, we can see the correlation between Bitcoin and Nasdaq. It's pretty clear, to be honest. This is a daily here, but it's pretty clear what's going on over here. We're in a bit more of a consolidation stroke bear market with Bitcoin, and you could argue this is a massive sell-off. But remember, we've made such epic gains over the last 18 months, not just with crypto, but everybody's basically made epic gains with anything, invested in anything, and so sell-offs are required, especially when there's tightening taking place. So let's have a think about this chart. Where could we go to next before a bit of a relief rally? Well, based on the daily, there's not a great deal to it around these levels. You've got the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. We've got probably another $1,000 to go down. Maybe a wick down below there could see some kind of relief. We take our eyes and focus on the 4-hourly. There is some bullish divergence brewing, ever so slightly, not just on the money flow, and but the RSI, but not your MACD. Your MACD is basically saying, I can't take it anymore. Death cross as well, so the downtrend does want to emphasise further downside as far as the trend is concerned. The trend hasn't changed, it continues to go down. We had a small bit of light relief after that breakout here, and now we're coming back down again. So this could just be a sweep of these lows, again, with the bullish divergence that's forming on the 4-hourly, it could just easily just bounce from this bottom of this Bollinger Band-ish area, which also, if you look a little closer, there is a little bit of relevance around this particular level as well. Not much, but enough. We've got candle bodies here, so we've got our rejections, support, and support on the wick, support on the candle and away. So this brings us to the bottom of the Bollinger Band as well as the horizontal. So it's roughly about 36,750. Thereabouts, and again, that's a hopium, really. It is just hopium. Remember, we're keeping a lot of our money aside for March and into April, where I think things are going to turn around quite dramatically. We were saying this about altcoins, how we need them to go down if we really want to get some decent signals on them for long-term, really big, large gains. But I just had a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, and it's actually going down. So even that is a bit of an anomaly in itself. So this isn't going to be the same for all altcoins, obviously, but Bitcoin coming down harder than the majority of the altcoin caps. So it's a bloody mad world. Now, you might think this is actually a good scenario. I personally don't see it particularly good, but and the reason for that is that the lower we go, the more likely we are to bounce. And if we continue to go down with Bitcoin, then there'll be a point where the Bitcoin dominance chart suggests bounce, and the altcoins themselves basically crash. I mean, that's good for us, looking to end of March into April to buy some of these altcoins, for epic gains, over the longer period, the 6 to 9 to 12 month zone. But anyone who's holding altcoins, including myself, going to suffer some significant pullback and demolishment of the portfolio. Again, it depends on your overall entry point. If you entered any time over the last, well, arguably 9 months or so, then yeah, you're probably in wrecked city. If you entered prior to that, prior to the alt season, around here, which is the majority of my altcoins were bought in and around this period, then I'm quite okay with allowing those altcoins to go up and down and wherever it is. There's only a few altcoins that I bought outside of this kind of zone, and obviously they're all down, so they're at losses. And actually, are they all at losses? I think VRA is not at a loss. No, that's okay. Although selling on the way up on that one has prevented it from effectively being a loss. But there are some. BEPRO, complete write-off. RLY, write-off. And what's the other one that was a write-off? There is another one. Oh yeah, of course, ICP, write-off. But like I say, it's going to be one of those things. You've got to wait for this Bitcoin, the overall Bitcoin bad boy, to turn around. And at the moment, there's no signs of it turning around. There's signs of a relief rally, in and around this kind of zone. We're talking the 4-hourly bullish divergence forming that could take us to this horizontal 36,700. Now, I was entertaining the idea of going long on this trend line here, depending on the reaction we got. Absolutely zero reaction from it. Overshot it, resistance from it. There's no place for a long here. And to be honest with you, I'm not here to promote people doing longs or anything like that. I strongly suggest you don't do it until you feel yourself are ready. And by the time you're ready, you don't need to take cues from anyone else on where to take those longs. But occasionally I do like to go long on things. So if you ever think about this as a trend line, yeah, it could work. Remember, it's a horizontal that has a little bit of confluence to it. It's also got the bottom of the Bollinger Band as well. And one thing I did notice is that obviously we're coming down with the RSI money flow index, which is fine, because we were saying as we were up here, as we approached these zones and as we got to them, I said, look, money flow index being so high on a daily does invite sells to take place. Those sells are taking place, so it doesn't really take us massively by surprise to see that. But now what we're seeing on a little bit, and again this is only day one of the week, the massively oversold money flow index is finally turning up a little bit as we speak. So you might think, well, that's weird. Price down, money flow index up. It's a volume indicator, so volume, is going to start creeping back in as it appears right now. This does suggest that when this finally does start to turn around quite dramatically, that the gains will be really big for Bitcoin. Right, I'm going to leave it with you there because, like I say, it's half term. You can hear my toddler in the background. She's asking for my attention. I got the other ones asleep, so I've got to go. But yeah, I'll leave it with you there. But stay in, hang in there. It's not that bad. If you've got available funds, keep them available. End of March into April is where things are going to...
Daddy,
I'm working.
My tablet's only got 38%.
Your tablet's only got 38%. What a tragedy. Right, I've got to go. Speak to you in a bit, guys. Take it easy.